I'm May, and this is May's Crochets. I'm a beginner crocheter sharing my learning to crochet journey. And today I want to talk about amigurumi turtles, and we're also going to play a little game called Crochet This or That. More details on the game in a few minutes, but for now, let's talk about turtles. A little while back, I made the turtle from the Woobles Learn to Crochet kit. His name is Emilio the Turtle, and I have a full video on my channel if you want to take a look at my experience making that Emilio the Turtle kit. But here's how he came out. Let me show you again. Here is Emilio the Turtle. My big thought with this pattern is, why is his head so big? Right? In real life, turtle heads are like really small and their shells are really big and their legs are, pretty small, just like this. But the heads are not like this. I mean, I think it's just like a cute thing to make a cute crochet turtle. I know there's a lot of other patterns out there like this too with really big turtle heads. But yeah, I love turtles and I decided that I am going to put myself on a quest to find the perfect amigurumi turtle pattern that I love. I know perfect is different for everyone, but I'm looking for the one that is my absolute favorite. So I have a few bookmarked and I'm going to share my first one that I made with you today. I found this yarn that I love, Premier Basics Chenille Tie-Dye. I've had a couple other videos where I talk about my first experiences using chenille yarn. I actually use this Premier Basics Chenille Brights for a number of projects already, and I've really been liking it. And so this tie-dye is just a really fun, variation, a kind of a variety of different colors. They have a bunch of different kind of color schemes of this tie-dye yarn, and I bought a number of them. But with this one in particular, when I first saw it, what popped into my head was turtle shell. This would be great to do with different shell colors, and then we can do different colors for the actual turtle bodies. But I got excited about the idea of making an amigurumi turtle with this tie-dye yarn. So my plan is to continue making different turtles using different color schemes with these different tie-dye yarns, and I'm sharing my results with you. So without further ado, let me share my first turtle that I made so far. I'm calling this Jerry the tie-dye turtle. Here he is. Here we go. Okay, you want to see his shell, which is of course the most interesting part with this tie-dye yarn. Okay, take a look. Head, legs, and tail. Here's the bottom. I can turn him all around. Here he is, Jerry the tie-dye turtle. So let's talk about colors for a minute. I had quite a bit of debate about what color to make the rest of the turtle body. Yes, I had picked this beautiful, it's called Ocean Swells. Beautiful, beautiful colors of this tie-dye yarn for the shell. And I debated about the body. I thought I was going to do green, but I looked at the Premier website and it actually gives along with this yarn, it shows sort of a match your color scheme. And it shows 5, I think, yarn colors of the Premier Basics Chenille Brights that match this color scheme. And I figured I had ordered a bunch of colors of it. I figured I would do one of them. But when I actually got down to it and I looked at the different colors, I really wasn't sure which one to land on. And I kind of was hoping to do one where you can really clearly see the color in the shell and have it sort of offset in the rest of the body. And in the end, I couldn't really decide that there was a really good answer to that. So the greens that they say are in this color scheme are a mint color, which is like a really light green. Here's the mint color. It's this really light green that I see other light greens in here, but I don't know that I see this exact mint. There's also Caribbean or Caribbean, I guess, depending how you say it, which I've used for a couple other products and I don't have a ton of it left. But even that one, I'm not sure that I see exactly that Caribbean color in here. They also have, for the blue, they say there's a light blue, which I don't actually have, and then navy. Maybe that's what that dark blue is, I guess. Although the dark blue looks more like a bright blue, so I don't know. So in the end, I actually went with this blue color called Seaside. This is what I ended up going with, and you can sort of see that color in here. I don't know if the colors are exactly that color used for the tie-dye or if it's some kind of color combination or something. Or maybe it's just my eyes or the dot lots or something. But in the end, these colors that I had, I did not think particularly match. I would actually think I would love to make a turtle that was this sort of brighter blue here with the body in brighter blue. But this navy blue is not that brighter blue. And the light blue is certainly not. So anyway, I went with this Seaside blue. I'm very picky about my colors, blues in particular. I have certain blues that I like, certain blues that I don't like. This is not my favorite blue, but I went with it anyway. When I first started, I like really had second thoughts and I thought, ooh, I think I'm not gonna like this. And I even thought about undoing it, but I'd already kind of tied a knot that was too tight, so I just let it be. But in the end, I'm actually pretty happy with how this came out. I think this is a good choice. You do see a little bit of that same like seaside blue color in the shell. And I think the other greens could have been okay. It would have looked different. It's interesting to think about like making a pattern with something different. I don't know. I don't think the light green would be great. Maybe this kind of Caribbean green. I'd also consider doing this. This is like a emerald. What is the color? Is it emerald? Yes, emerald green, which I love this color. And that would have looked good too, but that color is not in, the shell color. So I wasn't super sure there, but went with the seaside blue. And in the end, I have to say I'm decently happy with how it came out in the end. So, okay. Now for the game of this or that crochet edition, tie-dye turtle edition. So I'm going to link the pattern that I used to make this turtle below. I actually followed along with a video tutorial that made this turtle. And that was actually a really interesting experience, something that I wasn't totally expecting. But watching someone actually do the crocheting and seeing them sort of from beginning to end do all of the steps made me realize that there's really a lot of different ways to do things out there. A lot of what I've been doing up until now has been the Woobles Learn to Crochet kits. I showed you my Amelia the Turtle. They have their own video tutorials, and that's like the main way that I've learned. And then I've done some other patterns just off of the written patterns, so I've done everything the same way as I already learned from the Woobles. But seeing someone else actually crochet, of course, there's different ways to do things. And so, yeah, I thought it'd be fun to play a little game of this or that based on things that I saw in the video tutorial that are different than the way that I had been doing it. And of course, there's no right answer. Everyone tries things differently, and it's great to experiment with different ways. But yeah, it's really interesting to kind of see what the different options are. So let's see. What is this or that? Let's do an example. This or that. Do you prefer sew patterns or no sew patterns? This is an easy one. I think for most amigurumi makers, I think most people's preference is no sew. This one, Amelia the Turtle. So you did actually sew on his head. But the legs and tail, I guess, were considered no sew. You just go your way around, you do chain stitches, you crochet into them, and that's how you make the legs or tail. It goes a lot faster. This pattern in the end was a sew pattern, so I had to make the head, the tail, and 4 legs and sew them all on. I think overall, I actually sometimes prefer the look of the sew patterns, but no sew is easier, it's faster. Having to do this like so many times, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 magic rings. I still am like a beginner and I'm not super great, especially with this chenille yarn. So that's definitely a challenge. So yeah, I know people have opinions out there about this, and a lot of people, I mean, I think most people do not like sewing on, although maybe people like the look of it like I do. It's harder to do, and you have to like get everything symmetrical. It's definitely tricky. So I know there's also low sew, which is a little bit like, I don't know if the world is always black and white. Sew or no sew, we've got sort of the middle of the road with low sew. So that was one thing. Next up, we've got, do you put your stitch marker in the first stitch of the round or the last stitch of the round? So the Woobles taught me to do it in the first stitch of the round. That's what I've been doing. I think that makes the most sense. But in the video, she put her stitch marker in the last stitch of the round. So, okay, there's other ways to do it. I guess that makes sense. You just need a way to mark where your round is ending. So I don't know, maybe I'll try that sometime. I don't know if it's a big difference, but yeah, maybe I'll give that a shot just to see. That was kind of an interesting thing just to see. Next up, how do you close your bottom of a piece, I guess? The choices are for this or that. Either you go through the front loops only with your tapestry needle all around with each stitch and pull it tight, or this is like a harder one to say than just an easy this or that. What she did in the video was like, she went not through the front loops only at the bottom, but through the whole stitch, like going in one and then out the next, and then in one and then out the next, and then in one and out the next, versus what I've always done is just go through the front loops only of each stitch all the way around, and it closes it fine. I ended up following my own technique for that, that I learned from the Woobles, and I think it looks fine. I don't think you can see any like extra space or anything. I think that looks good. So I went with that, but again, interesting to see different options. Next up is just like how much you secure things when you're sewing them on. So, do you just sew around once or do you sew around a bunch? With the Woobles, they sew around once. Um, on this video, she sewed around like 2 or 3 times basically to secure all of these pieces, the head, the legs, the tail. She went around like many, like I think she literally might have gone around 3 times, I guess, to keep it extra secure. And then at the end, when she finished sewing it, and then she like tied a knot and maybe another knot, and then she stuck the needle through to catch it through the stuffing. Versus on the Woobles, all that they ever do is like you sew once around and then the final one, you don't even tie a knot, you just go through. You poke the needle through the final stitch and then you poke it out the other side and you pull it through the stuffing and like that's that. So yeah, I haven't had an issue with it yet, but then again, my amigurumi have not lived for very long yet. And I don't know if there's any chance that they might come undone or anything like that. So I don't know. She really was super, super secure, and I'm not sure if I should be securing my pieces a little bit more than I currently am. But there's another this or that for you. So I think that's it for today. Like I said, I'm on my quest to find the perfect amigurumi pattern. I do really like this one. I think it's all about the proportions, and I get why heads are bigger than real like turtle heads, which are teeny tiny. I get why this pattern, the head is a little bit bigger than maybe it would be in real life. But this one feels a lot better to me than Amelia the turtle and his giant head. I think I really like this pattern. It did take me a little bit of time to do all the different pieces and sew them on. But again, I feel pretty good about the proportions of the legs and the tail. There's some patterns out there where the legs are like these huge, like flippers. They're like semicircles that are like, just like, again, a huge proportion of the actual pattern. And so I don't necessarily love that. But in this case, the legs and the tail, I think, are a pretty good proportion. This one was cool. So to actually attach the shell to the body. So you did a front loop only for the final round of the shell color. And then you go through this. So you're leaving the back loops like exposed kind of on the inside, and then you do the color change and you actually crochet into the back loops on the inside of that last round of the shell. Which was a kind of a cool technique, and it gives you a little bit of this sort of flaring of the shell. You can see it sort of sticks out just a little bit, and it gives you that little sort of ridge of the turtle shell. But I actually feel like I would love it if there was like more ridge, like slightly more ridge so that it kind of sticks out even further. I think that would be a really cool look. So yeah, we'll keep our eye out for another one that might look a little bit more like that. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this one. I think this is a great start to my tie-dye turtle explorations. And so, yeah, stay tuned for future videos where I make more tie-dye turtles with a different color scheme. So this one, it was a perfect sort of ocean one, but there's also like pinks and purples and pastels. And I have some really cool other yarns that I'm going to make more shells out of to share with you. And I'm really excited to keep working my way through that. So yeah, I think that's it for today. With that, thank you so much for keeping me company, and I'll see you next time. Bye.